Hello and welcome. It's me, Mrreeeee, with another one of these alpha guides. Now today we're going to look at the Paladin, and I'm actually going to do all Paladins at once right now together. Prot, Holy, and Retribution. Now, am I a Paladin main right now? No. Have I played Paladin over the years? Yes. What do I think about Paladin? For me, again, before we watch all these videos, before you either like, subscribe, or you've seen any of my content, I am who I am, Mrreeeee. I played this game for 10 plus years. I do mythic rating. I do high-end M+. I don't push, 18, 19s, but usually around the 15 mark, 3,300, just short of the title. I do PvP to around 2K. Like I collect. I do it, right. This is my life with World of Warcraft. So I have a pretty good understanding. And if I don't have the high end, I have someone I usually talk to and lead on. So I guess my view here is that I will capture and give you enough information for the average player. I can help you. If you are the super elitist, want to be the best you can, there'll probably be stuff I'll miss, and you can probably find that with some of the better, world first raiders. But if you just want a snapshot into what's happening and you like the way I talk and you like my shorts, welcome and let's get into it. So first thing I do is develop a node. So we're going to look at the best thing about the whole class is all broken down. I think the WoW had the nicest color, but I had the original document. But we can go into Wowhead here and have a look. This is Arcane. It was preset to Paladin. I'm very upset that I'm looking at Frost Mage right now. All right, here we go. So I guess we can start from the top. We haven't looked at which you probably have. Hero talents, Herald of the Sun. I should close the light on my face. The new talent, Walk into the Light. You have a 100% chance to gain Blessing of Anch and generate 2 Holy Power. There's a new talent called Endless Gleam. Dawnlight's duration increased by 0.5 seconds when it heals an ally with full health. Dawnlight's duration increased by 0.3 whenever struck by Divine Storm and Templar's Verdict. Born in Sunlight, Dawnlight's critical chance is increased by 15%. Blessing of Ashi now accumulates 2 charges and now increases the damage of your next Holy Shock or Judgment. Templar, there's a new seal of Templar talent. Protection, Judgment increased by 30%, and Retribution, Templar's Verdict damage increased by 50%. So, I mean, just stats, right? It's like, cool. I think here it talks about a bit of 2 charges. There's a bit difference here for our Herald of the Sun. Templar, just a bit of stuff around our damage. Divine Hammer. Divine Toll now summons Divine Hammers that spin around you for 8 seconds. So that is a passive ability that now comes through in Templar. The Light's Judicator, Inferior Hammer deals 20% increased critical strike damage, and its critical strikes have a 50% chance to grant an additional stack of Light's Deliverance. The new talent in Divine Exaction, Divine Toll casts 2 additional times on your target 100%. Endless Wrath has been updated. If Frame Hammer's 10% increased chance critical, like just stat buffs. Wrathful Descent now increases 50% of damage to nearby enemies. Sanctify now increases the damage of Emperor Hammond. So a lot of damage stuff here. I guess extra Divine Toll, cool. Not much here except for the new change for our Divine Hammers. Class, there's a new talent called Brought to Light. Killing an enemy that yields experience or honor causes you to explode with holy energy. Killing up to 5 nearby allies and yourself split among them. That is very interesting. A bit of PvP battlegrounds? I mean, killing enemy yields experience, I guess, for leveling? New talent, Fear No Evil. I'm looking like reading to the side. I should put more center for you guys in the camera. Holy Ritual has been redesigned. No longer functions with Blessing of Freedom. No longer triggers when Blessings fades. By healing increased by 2,000. Wow. Vengeful Wrath has been redesigned. Hammer Wrath deals up to 25 to 50% additional damage based on target's health. Lower health targets receive more damage. Blessing of Dusk has been redesigned. Damage taken reduced up by 10%, increasing your health. Dawn has been redesigned. While you're above 85%, 5% of all damage taken by allies and then 20 yards is redirected to you up to a maximum of 5% of your health every 5 seconds. Shield of Vengeance has been updated. Retribution only talent. So this is a Divine Protection, reduces damage taken by additional 10%, and cast Shield of Vengeance. Shield of Vengeance remains the same. Move from Retribution talent tree. All Holy Power spending ability and damage have been increased. Cool. Adjust Reward and Obduracy are now 2 talent points. And they've removed Judgment of Light, of Dusk and Dawn, and Seal of Crusader. So a lot of changes in and out. Not much around the gameplay side, but just like tweaking about how the damage or healing breakdowns are. We're going to start with Holies. The Holy Prism has been moved to the class tree from Holy Tree is now a choice node with Divine Toll, 45 seconds. And Quicken Invocation now increases the cooldown Divine Toll, Holy Prism, Barrier, Faith, and Holy Armaments for 15 seconds. Okay. Holy Paladins updates are focused on removing various inconsequential healing sources and cutting secondary tracking buffs. Simplify. Ugh. We also reducing the amount of mid-range cooldowns they have access to, as we felt there are a few too many in the space, and making sure Aura Mastery is satisfying and impactful button press instead. That is so true. I feel like Aura Mastery, people say, is like, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything because you're around your body. Hopefully the visual changes too. Light of Dawn is also getting an update to its targeting, now being circular radius around the Paladin. Woo-wee! It's not a bug. Getting the perfect angle for Light of Dawn can be difficult. Great. Apex talent. So we have this cool thing called Beacon of Savior, kind of like a smart heal. So while in combat, apply Beacon of Savior to the lowest health ally. That causes direct healing on others to also heal the ally for 30% healed. Beacon of Savior to the lowest health ally. So it moves around. Whoever's the lowest, they get a portion of your healing. It travels 10 to 20% of the amount of you healed with the second talent, and every 5 seconds, the beacon transfers new injured target that grant a small absorption shield. So just a passive smart heal, which I think is great for the class. New talents, Ringing of Heavens, activating Aura Mastery also causes caster Divine Toll at 100%. Cool. Seraphic Barrier, Word of Glory and Ladon grant allies an Absorb Shield to 10% of their healing. Cool. Call of Righteous, Avenging Wrath cooldown is reduced by 15 to 30 seconds, but its duration is reduced by 2.5 to 5. Avenging Crusader's cooldown is reduced by 7.1 to 15, but its duration is reduced by 1 to 3. Okay, some bit of a simming, what's better, longer fights or burst healing. A new talent, Glistening Radiance, while at maximum health, targets with Beacon of Light generate an Absorb Shield to get a 5% missing health up to 15%. A lot of Absorb Shields coming out here. Liberation has been redesigned. Word of Glory and Light of Dawn have a chance to equal your haste to convert 20% of the healing to damage. Saved by the Light has been redesigned and no longer triggers a visual. When an ally with your Beacon of Light is damaged, the absorb damage increases by 300% based on their current health. Lower health allies shielded for more, so more shields. Tears Deliverance Spirit redesigned. Now triggers after activating Avenging Wrath, choice node of Hand Divinity. So again, they've just combined 2 triggers. It's very common at the moment. Hand Divinity is now redesigned. Now triggers after Avenging Wrath. So you press Avenging and everything happens. That's a choice node for those 2 tiers or Hand of Divinity. So they're trying to reduce that. I wonder how that feels. I feel like they added more spells. I'd be keen to see the Holy Paladin community around that. Do they like having less things to do? I know with Preservoka, there was a bit of pushback getting that reduced. Love to hear your thoughts. Infiltration of Sunwell has been redesigned. Infusion Lies is 1 additional charge. Veneration has been redesigned. Now provides an Absorb Shield. No longer resets the cooldown of Hammer of Wrath. Jesus, so many changes on Holy. Breaking Dawn has been redesigned. Increases the radius of Light of Dawn and increases the healing by 5 to 10%. That's cool. Tower of Radiance is now learned at level 10. Who cares? Infusion of Light is now a talent. Okay, increases the flash heal and increases greater judgment. Divine cooldown reduced to 45 seconds. That's nice. Tyrion's Devotion reduces lay on hands cooldown 50%. Righteous Judgment now replaces Consecrate. Okay, no Consecrate for Holy. Big. Beacon of Virtue duration increased to 9 was 8. Light of Dawn here heals in a 50-yard around the Paladin and reduces its healing beyond 5 targets. So still 5-card healing, which is interesting. I guess with balancing, because I mean that's what it's for. For rating, I guess it just like puts it just so they're not a dumping bot of incredible healing. Divine Favor may trigger from Divine Toll, Holy Ornaments. Shining Righteousness now activates 20% chance. Awakening now activates with 5% chance. Ethereum Legacy now activates the Judgment Critical Strikes. Hammer Wrath now overrides Judgment during Avenging Wrath. Holy Ornaments now overrides Holy Prism. Many talents have changed positions. The following have been removed: Barrier of Faith, Blessing of Seasons, Boundless Salvation, Merciless Auras, and Relentless Inquisitor. I think Blessing of Seasons was really fun for me when I played Holy Paladin. Right, let's have a look. So a lot of change. I mean, we probably, like the Beacon of Savior, really can't see now. Like I'm not max level on these tunes, unfortunately. We can go into this tier deliverance here. We can go into maybe like a ward. Glory, kind of Avenging Wrath cooldown. See if I can get that extra talent. So many good talents. It would have spread out to my beacons. Let's go over to this talent here and get Influence of the Sunwell. Alright, so here, Herald of the Sun. casting Holy Prison Barrier Fade, the one called next Holy Power spending abilities, Dawn of Light healing. So, I mean, a lot less buttons to press here for Holy. I'm going to go straight to my wings here. And then we can just start pumping, spreading, Divine Toll. We can see here our new Dawn of Light. Woohoo! 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 Look at that. I guess around that, like, they definitely don't want healing, but it feels very, like, I'm going to spend a lot of my time holy shocking my teammates, going for the player. I guess you're doing a lot of that. We still have to consecrate in this build. I guess it feels really not much different. You just got less buttons to play, right? Like, it doesn't feel like, I mean, the AoE heal is nice. Aura Mastery. I mean, cool, we pop it. They haven't changed the visual on that. Got the internal flame proc. I think this is purely going to just be down how it feels to heal, right? Like having those reduced buttons, how a Holy Paladin's going to respond to that healing. Not worrying about the frontal is probably nice, but I know, like, when I felt like I was healing in, keys, I probably favored using the internal flame as a single heal than using that AoE. That might change. Yeah. Are all okay. I'm not too fussed about this. Nothing feeling that big as a paladin class. Like I said, it's all going to be around, this passive new way to get just savior. You can swap here if you're big into virtues. What was the other talent we can look at? Crusader or Avenging Wrath. I picked here. You can swap from Tears Deliverance to Hand of Divinity. So it's just going to be a lot of min-maxing. And I guess finding, like, what is the best optimal rate to heal. I don't think there's much gameplay-wise that changes. This is like a passive effect. Passive effect. This changes for you. You could swap from Beacon of Virtue or Beacon of Faith. You prefer that for the, like, we saw, I think this was played more in, like, dungeons, but then swapped over eventually. I guess the biggest side here is from Lightsmith, like, what's going to sim better. A Lightsmith, that at least gets us an extra button to press. And then now I'm picking up an enchant, which is always a cool little thing, the Rite of Sanctification. And then again, doing the same thing, but this time I throw out an extra shield ornament and a sword ornament. Okay. Ominent. Oh yeah, that's Holy Priest right now. I think removing the current is interesting, but I don't think it was maybe the detrimental of the class. They said they wanted Aura Master to feel more impactful. I don't know if that's doesn't feel impactful. It doesn't look impactful. I don't know if there's like any. If I search Aura Mastery here, so we can reduce the cooldown, or we can. It also increases the healing on party members. We can do a Divine Toll, can proc with it if you were looking to buff it, and then that's just getting the spells. So not much. It feels like that doesn't feel like that empowered. Maybe we'll see something in the under construction talents on the left here. Yeah, this is hard to comment about. I think the shields look good, and I think the ideas that we read about in the development notes are going to be good. But this is going to be for you guys to take apart and ask me how it plays. It feels like it plays exactly the same. I wouldn't be too worried if you're a Holy Paladin main or getting to Holy Paladin. I've kind of kept it pretty much the same, except for all the passives and the way the healing works. I think less buttons makes it quite easy. My question would be, is limiting your cooldowns of Vow Avenging Wrath, is that going to be detrimental to the class? All right. I believe protection is next. We're addressing some pain points Protection Paladin has been experiencing at the start of combat, with competing priorities and abilities clashing, for sure. Protection Paladins were subject to significant pressure and tension between their defensive abilities, holy power generation, and generating and maintaining threat, and immediate need to place concentration. This is like the pinnacle of Paladins. Is my consecration down? Do I die? How do I build for holy power? Yeah. We're also aiming to streamline by paring back on a number of layers of short duration, low impactful defense abilities in order to concentrate power into fewer moving parts. Simplify! Okay. 8-pack talents are not in at the moment, so we can't talk about them. New talent, Undying Embers. You are healed for 100% the damage dealt by Refining Fire. Searing Sunlight, casting Avenger Shield causes concentration to deal bonus damage and healing. Judgment Chains to 2 additional target, replaces Moment of Glory. Inferior Authority. Guardian of Ancient Kings is 1 additional charge. Replaces IFT. I think that's really good. While out of combat, Divine Seed grants shields of rightness for its duration and additional 2 seconds after its fades. That's random. I'd love to see how that works. Vision of Sanctity. Consecration deals 100% damage when it strikes a single target. Consecration heals you for 100% damage it deals. Whew. Consecration. Sanctuary been updated while in your consecration, and for 4 seconds after leaving it, your damage taken is reduced by 5%. Replace Bastion of Light. Resolute Defender has been updated. Ardent Famine lasts additional 2 seconds. Righteous Protector has been updated. Avenging Wrath and Guardian of Ancient Kings have 50% reduced cooldown and 40% duration. Temple has been updated. IFT replaced with Divine Toll. Light's Guidance, when a Hammer of Light is now activated by and replaces Divine Toll. Refining Fire has been updated. Enemy struck by Avenged Shields burn with Holy Fire, suffering 20% radiant damage. Divine Bulwark increases your chance to block melee attacks by Mastery and your chance to block spells in Heartful by 2 times Mastery. Ooh, will we finally... Is this new? We're just new to the stats here on this one. But that's a big part. Will there be more Mastery stacked? I'm sure it was attack power, not block. I haven't played for a while. Leave me alone. Let me know about this if it's different in the comments. Word of Glory mana cost increased by 100%. What? Now refunds 100% of the mana spent when cast on yourself. Ooh, that's cool. So like, it doesn't punish you, but you can help your players. Undisputed Ruling update no longer grants Holy Power. Consecration Flames now 2 talent point. Sacrosanct Crusade now references and is activated by Divine Toll. Lights do Deliverance now references Divine Toll. Many talents change positions. They've removed Barricade of Fate, Bastion of Light, IFTF, Faith and Light, Holy Shield, Improved Holy Shield, Inmost Glory, and Moment of Glory. Alrighty then. So we have 2 charges of Ancient Kings. We can look at Sentinel or Avenging Wrath, which is just calls upon damage and how we play. We haven't got any Apex talents to play with. I can go like an Avenger Shield build. I can go this while in Consecration for 4 seconds. I'll let you take 4% reduced damage. So this is, it feels less about prioritizing my builds. Land hands reduced. Iron Defender. So we can do this like weird consecration. How do you consecration? Really different talents. Gonna heals you and your allies here. 15% longer. And we can go down like a consecration build here on this side. If we wanted to, we can do this like, just have a look at. So I'm picking up here. Concentration talent, casting to deal more damage and healing. It heals me for 100 more, deals 100% increased damage, lasts longer, and takes reduce. So you can do a full like consecration build on this side. You can then spread it out on the right side. Yeah, so get like a full consecration build. We'll just see what it is. But we can see it's a lot of changes made for that. And then we've got a 2 Templar, which I mean, Hammer Light is so much nicer. You're going to see it here. So I guess I'm going to go into a pack and I'm just going to pop my big cooldowns, throw down my hammers. Oh, hold on, guys. Rookied up here. Where's my shield and one-hander? Oh my. There we go. Cool. Like, boom. Throw my thing, get another hammer. Like, it's not that 5 anymore, which I think is so good. This is some, like, weird consecration build that people probably aren't going to play, but I guess you can. I like having the extra pop of Charge of Kings. Pretty much the same here. It's like really 3 buttons here. I can choose to wog if I wanted to. That doesn't cost any mana to myself, which is good. So I guess that situation when you're getting really hammered as a paladin, you have to worry about going I know that's a big space for definitely Kubadin, my guild paladin. Being is a joke, but I guess choose to heal others, that's when it gets consumed, which is good. Hardened Defender. Now, I guess, does this still address the issue of having consecration down? I guess that's going to be with talents and taking new packs until people are able to actually tank in dungeons and future parts of the alpha. Will they still feel like when pushing weak, or will they doesn't rely too much on their consecration? Go to their stencil then. Yeah, not bad. Nothing too crazy. I think that's definitely way better for Hammer of Light. I know that when I played Hammer of Light last season, they'll be the same for Ret. I think it felt super clunky, but this feels much better. I mean, you're pressing no buttons again, so super easy tanking. It would just be how they perform, and if they have done enough to the baseline stats, then when they're an M+, they don't feel so how you're going when you pull them off. And then, of course, Lightsmith, which gives us our cool little bulwark shield, an extra shield button or an extra damage button, and summoning some stuff to buff, which is all around, does my group buffs, the same thing. There's my armor and shield, get that extra, building my bulwark for the extra defense, or then popping my damage, and then does that scale, is that what I want to do? So I guess, what are the sims with this class? No real gameplay changes, or they want to keep it pretty simple. Can I say it's a top tier class? Well, I doubt you could say it. You can go look at those tier lists. I think it's just, it'll be seeing how much having these new changes to the cooldowns and big pulls. I think it's better. I'd have like 3 defenses. Then I also have my divine shield. I can feel I can get my consecration really up, which is kind of nice with all those talents we took. And I guess on the other side of talents, you're looking at more of an Avenger shield build. Extra judgments, Avenger shield. You know, you're looking at Hammer of Wrath damage, probably more of a bursty build, and maybe more of a tanking side. So yeah, that's Prot Pally. Let's go to the last Paladin, the Retribution, the sword, the hammer. I feel like everything's hammer though, right? It's a BM to say the sword. Unless we got a hammer on our Tauren. Okay, Retribution, guys. As we head to midnight, we're taking a close look at a couple of things, such as how Retribution Paladins generate holy power, the amount of spells needed to cast for stepper. Oh, sorry. Oh my god, step. Okay. Woo! Doing a 20-minute video at once, wasn't ready. We're taking a close couple of things, such as how Retribution Paladins generates holy power, the amount of spells needed, the hero talent balance, and design of the third gate and the spec tree. Currently, we feel the choices in the third gate are too limiting, forcing players to pick between single target and AoE effectiveness. To address this, we're redesigning some abilities while removing others. Simplify! The most impactful change here happening with Execution Sentence and Final Reckoning. In Midnight, we decided to combine these two abilities in one powerful ability that is useful both AoE and single target. Cool, I definitely know complaining Red Paladins, they do one or the other, so this is good. For Holy Generation, we're looking at the amount of passive over time effects. The key focus here is creating strikes. While it has served Retribution well in some areas, over time it's become an invisible, passive, holy player. Oh my god. Sorry. Some areas of times invisible, passive holy power generates difficult to track and lacks meaningful interaction. We're shifting emphasis towards Templar Strikes, allowing other important channels of becoming Divine Resonance with aim players more agency and clarity in the holy power generation. Going back to the amount of spellcast, one would change Dress and Divide Hammer. We've known many enjoyed its interaction with Templar hero talents. On the other hand, many found it stressful to manage on top of Executing Sentence. In Midnight, with approachable in mind, we decided to find a different place for Divine Hammer inside the tree. This change will allow us more flexible in tuning Inferior and Hammer of Light and find healthier balance between Herald of the Sun and Templar hero talents. We're also exploring ways to make Art of War and Righteous Cause feel more impactful while shifting more power back to Holy Power spenders. I expect talents. They have them. So you've got Art of War, Righteous Cause increase the damage your next Blade of Justice. Avenging Wrath grants you Art of War, Righteous Cause. Okay, Avenging Wrath further increases damage. Art of War further empowers Blade Rush to unleash a wave of holy energy, dealing holy damage to primary target and to all enemies. Okay, so press big button, do big damn. Execution Sentence redone. Unleash a heavy blast around the target, dealing holy damage to all enemies nearby, and call down a hammer that slowly falls. After 10 seconds, target subs 10% damage you dealt to all targets, and affected by the initial burst, now 1 minute cooldown. So they've combined that. They've updated Divine Resonance to cause just 3 judgment cast again. Templar Strikes have been updated. Crusader Strike loses a charge but now strikes twice. Boundless Judgment no longer calls Judgment General Holy Power. Divine Wrath is now 2 talent point that increases duration of Avenger's Wrath. Radiant Glory no longer has a chance to activate Avenger Wrath for 4 seconds. Blades of Light is now a 2-point talent, causes a Crusader Strike. Judge during execution is now a capstone talent. After execution sentence, causes your next 2 Holy Bellows to refund their Holy Power cost. Casting execution sentence in addition to passively Holy Power. Oh my god. Efferent Elixir now increases Avenging Wrath to empower your next Holy Power to cause Divine Storm with 25% increased effectiveness. Crusade now a passive talent that causes Avenging Wrath to grant 2% haste, increasing 2% Holy Power up to 20. Holy Flames no longer increases Divine Storm damage, no longer causes Divine Storm to spread, is no longer in a choice note against Blade of Vengeance. Art of War now causes auto hex of 50% to reset Blade of Justice. Rush of Light causes critical strikes from Holy Power. Final Verdict secondary effect has been updated and gives a chance to reset the Court of Judgment. Damage buff, damage buff, damage buff, and holy my lord, they've removed. They've removed Age of Protection, Crusader Strikes, Divine Arbiter, Divine Auxiliary, Divine Hammer, Execution Will, Final Reckoning, Guardian Prayer, Inquisition Zari, Justice Vengeance, Light Celery, Searing Light, Shield of Vengeance, and Vanguard's Momentum. What's left, man? What is left? I guess we're looking here at the Templar build. Avenging Wrath, so Blade of Justice. So maybe we can do a Blade build here. We'll look at their Apex talents. Increasing our Blade of Justice damage. It's gonna be a big part, I guess. Grants you Art of War. Damage to my Avenging Wrath. Waking out Avenging Wrath here. Yeah. So if we just send it here. Wait, do I even have, where's my... I don't even have to do Sentinel, right? It just happens when I swing my big hammer, right? We just start pressing buttons. Free sword, big hammer. Got a proc there. Big spin. Proc there, big spin. Big spin. Normal hit. Bit of an AoE there in our Crusade Strike. Bit of downtime here. I got the hammers coming out, so I don't have to build here. I mean, it feels just as simple. I just have less choices with abilities, and they've just cleaned up the idea of not having to worry about single target and AoE with that bigger cooldowns, right? They've just refined the class. It looks like I still have to build up to 5 for... Look at that 5 for Paladin, that Righteous Hammer. That's kind of annoying. I guess, yeah. It feels like the AoE and single build, they've just like combined that together. It hasn't changed much to the class at all. They've just made it easier to not having to pick between sides. Okay, so that's Templar. And I guess for me, when it comes to like this, like it doesn't really change. Like it all buffs my big press all button, right? And over here it just changes to be now Dawn of Ashes, and then people will try and sim which one has the best optimal damage combining the two talents. Between Templar. I guess this Templar you get the cool hammer though, which is kind of fun. This one's much simpler. I don't have to worry about that. We can see here I can talent into Execution Sentence, because that's at least something different that's coming here. We can look at... Can I get over there? Let's have a look at the new Avenging Sentence at least in this build. So here we now have going to Wings with new Vengeance, does that initial burst. And it's, so when we're doing AoE, we're also doing single target. We can see the beams coming out. I feel like that feels nice. Not having to choose between both feels really good. And you know, all these stuff that I feel like when you look at tier lists will now be like, how does it play in game? How does the damage do? I feel like it works well now for AoE. Does it feel good for single target though? Like I feel like the single target hasn't really changed much. Yeah. Missing There's that empowered hammer of light there, changing for my own judgment. That's Red Pally. Has Blizzard done I think a good start? I'd love to hear your comments. As always, I've been Mrreeeee. This is the first step of an alpha guide. If you'd like to put comments in what you want me to see, what you want to test, hit me up. If I've done something wrong, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you for the next video. Peace out.